Let's go over this quickly here. I think Cam Newton's done, folks. I'm ready to be 100% done on Cam Newton. If you've kind of been, keeping track of the show, we're about 1% still. We have 1% stake, 1% stock still in Cam Newton, and we're trying not to sell that last percent. We're trying to hold on to that last percent as long as possible, but I think I'm ready to sell that last 1%, folks. But we get this here, an NFL insider is getting texts from Patriots sources saying how high they are on Mac Jones. And we kind of liked what we saw from Mac Jones in preseason game number 1. We get to watch him again today in preseason game number 2 when he goes and faces the Philadelphia Eagles tonight at 7:30 Eastern in Philadelphia. So we'll get a nice perspective on how Mac Jones handles an away game and all that, and just kind of learning from his mistakes. That's a key that we're focusing in on preseason week number 2. Are the players improving? Everybody, the team, are they improving? Are they putting up more points? Is the offense looking better? Is the defense stepping it up a little bit more? And how are all the rookies, playing in their second game? But a reason I want to kind of talk about this really quickly is because, and kind of compared to the Denver situation, because we just saw Teddy Bridgewater with the Broncos at quarterback competition, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, and we kind of know there's a quarterback competition here with the Patriots between Mac Jones and Cam Newton. Nobody's kind of saying anything. Everyone's kind of being really tight-lipped here in the Patriots organization. Obviously, Cam Newton's kind of billed as a starter heading into preseason, in the training camps of preseason and all of that, but it is kind of an unsaid thing that this is truly an open quarterback competition here. And if we tie it back into what we just saw in Denver, now, everything that we've been hearing about Denver, it's going to take all 3 preseason games. It's going to take all 3 preseason games. It's going to take all the practices. We're really going to use every single minute. But what have we just heard this week? Vic Fangio said, hey, it could be done by the end of preseason game number 2. And you would only kind of be like, hey, it could be over, the quarterback competition could be over by preseason game number 2 if you saw something actually great in preseason game number 1. Now, what did we see in preseason game number 1 of the Broncos? We saw Drew Lock be pretty solid, and but the most important thing that we saw was Teddy Bridgewater still dinking and dunking and not even taking the right reads. We saw multiple times where he dinked and dunked when there was something even better, wide open, not semi-open, not NFL open, which is like a half a step. No, something so wide open, and Teddy Bridgewater still checked it down. So we said then that we were kind of weighing Drew Lock ahead of Teddy Bridgewater, 55 to 45% overall if we put a percent on it. And what did we just so Vic Fangio saying, hey, if Teddy Bridgewater is still checking it down here, he's the starter here in preseason game number 2. If he's still checking it down, I'm ready to make Drew Lock the starter, and we're going to rock in preseason game number 3 with Drew Lock, shoring up our team for week number 1. Now, we go into kind of this article right here, and we get this tweet. We get this tweet right here. Where is this tweet? Yep, it's right here. Hang on. I had it. Here we go. Tweet here. Kevon Wallace, they're talking about Patriots practice here. Kevon Wallace yells at quarterback Cam Newton saying, quote, check down king after back-to-back dump-offs to running backs in 7-on-7. Next play, Wallace yells, running back. On cue, Newton to White in the flat. So once again, 3 straight plays of Cam Newton checking the ball down. And we saw Mac Jones air it out, be a little bit more aggressive than Cam Newton in preseason game number 1. So now this just gives more credence. Hey, we're not doing the checkdowns. Why are you checking down in practice? You're supposed to, use this opportunity to get better. Try to fit in those throws. Try, make the mistakes. We heard Zach Wilson say it for the Jets, rookie. Hey, this is where I'm supposed to make mistakes. Stop checking it down in practice. You're not getting better there. You're not testing your ability to fit it in the small windows that need to be made to complete a pass in the NFL. We just heard that from Tua. That was his struggle his rookie year. He didn't know what was open in the NFL from college because everything in college was so wide open. And, you know, being half a step open is wide open in the NFL, and you need to make that pinpoint accurate throw to beat the defender. And Cam Newton not taking those opportunities. Mac Jones is taking those opportunities of not checking it down and pushing it down the field. I think this is truly a big old wide open quarterback competition, and I truly do believe that the Patriots are kind of leaning toward Mac Jones as being the starter here, folks, 100%. So you just got to check the checkdowns, folks. We don't like seeing checkdowns. I mean, we watch tape all the time. We watch quarterbacks all the time. We get you have to check it down sometimes. That is part of the game. You check it down. Maybe it's even a design check down. Take what you can get. I've got no problem. I'm not saying don't do that. But in practice, and if you keep on doing it, it doesn't result into wins. We just saw Teddy Bridgewater do it last season. His stats were great. He had 2 1,000-yard wide receivers. He had 4,000? I'm pretty sure I had 4,000 passing yards. If not, like 3,900, but I'm almost certain 4,000 passing yards and like 67% completion percentage. It leads to good stats. It does, but it doesn't translate to wins. They only won 4 games last year in Carolina, so we got dink and dunkers out here, folks. Cam Newton is dink and dunk, and I'm telling y'all, I'm about to. If I see one dink and dunk by Cam Newton today, I'm selling my last 1% on the man. I'm over it. I'm over Cam Newton. We've tried and tried and tried to believe in him. We gave him the benefit of the doubt going into last season. It didn't really show us anything this year, and now we're not going to make the same mistake again. He's still dinking and dunking. Teddy Bridgewater is still dinking and dunking, and they are going to lose their job. They will not be the starter because they dink and dunk. Open it up in practice. Test yourself. Try to get better. Stop taking the checkdowns in practice. Make the mistakes. Who cares? Make the mistakes in practice. Nobody cares if you have a 5-interception day in practice. It will be a story for one day on Twitter. Other than that, it's washed away. And it's especially washed away if you come out and absolutely rock it in the regular season and be like, hey, I was just making the mistakes there to perfect my game, to get my game better. So if Cam Newton and Teddy Bridgewater are both thinking dunking, I don't even want to see him. And I'm big. I'm not big. I'm decently large. I'm decently large on Teddy Bridgewater. But if you're thinking and dunking, I'ma sell ya. I'm about this close of selling Cam Newton. So truly believe this is an open quarterback competition here in the Patriots organization. Truly believe that an NFL insider is getting texts from Patriots sources saying how high they are on Mac Jones, and we get to see the man tonight. We get to see Cam tonight, hopefully as well, and we'll compare them. We'll break them down on the show tomorrow and see which quarterback's looking better, but we were a little impressed with what we saw from Mac Jones his first game out there, trying to push the ball down the field. Got to give respect to that. Let's quickly, before we move off of this, let's see what the odds of Mac Jones being the week 1 starter is, because he's been at a solid plus 250 really the entire offseason, never really changed. Even after the end of last game, preseason game number 1, he was still at plus 250. So let's see if he's still at plus 250 and if it's still a solid bet to take him to be the week 1 starter. So here we go. Mac Jones to take the Patriots' first snap in the 2021-2022 regular season. It's still plus 250, folks. Yes, for him being the week 1 starter. So I would kind of say this is a solid value bet right here. Maybe try to get it in now, lock it in today, because we do get to see what he does in a game scenario today. And if he's looking good, everything that we've been hearing, what's coming out from the Patriots, Mac Jones could be the week 1 starter, folks. So Mac Jones at plus 250, I think it's real solid value, folks. We're just talking about the strict value. Happens, doesn't happen, we'll see. But the value of everything that we're seeing and hearing, this is a good bet to take and some good odds to cash in now at plus 250, which is basically the highest. I mean, oh wow, look at this. They put the Denver Broncos. They didn't really put these on there. They were waiting. But Denver Broncos to take the week 1 start. Drew Lock is at minus 175 and Teddy Bridgewater's at plus 125. I'm staying away from this because we're big question marks on Teddy Bridgewater. We'll know more by the end of this week when they play their game. And as we all know, Justin Fields is still at plus 190. So Mac Jones is now the best kind of value here. Plus 250, the highest odds, the best way to make some money. And it's looking like it could potentially be a guarantee. I don't want to call it a guarantee. I'll call it an 80% guarantee. Or no, is that 80% too high? We'll call it 60. We'll go into preseason game number 2, 60% confident that Mac Jones will be the week 1 starter. I've got no problem saying that. So Mac Jones, folks, I hope he balls out. If he's good, I've got no problem with him being good. I didn't think he was going to be good. Honestly, I did not think he was going to be good in this league, but one preseason game, he's kind of sold me a little bit. We'll see if it keeps up.